Hello friends, welcome back to my video series on analysis of determinate structures. Now in this video series we are just going through the conjugate beam method. Now I have taken this example wherein it is a beam of a span 8 meters total. The beam has two segments, A to C and C to B. A to C has a moment of inertia of I only, you can see here, and C to B is having a moment of inertia of 2I. We have a concentrated load of 100 kN which is exactly acting at the center of the beam. Now you have been asked to find what are the slopes at A, B and C and the deflection at point C. It's a very simple example. Let us quickly go through that. First let me find out what are the reactions which are coming on this beam. We can easily write those reactions as, since it is 100 kN exactly at the center, I can directly write this as the reaction at A is 50 kN and the reaction at B is also 50 kN. Now once it is done, let me draw this is a real beam exactly now. Now at present this is the real beam. Now I need to draw something called as a conjugate beam. So first let me draw that. Okay, now I have drawn this conjugate beam here. So this is, I will name this as conjugate beam. Now you can see here the conjugate beam has the same span as that of the real beam, and it also has the same types of supports as that of the real beam. Now the loading on the conjugate beam is a trickier one. What that you have to do it very exactly and accurately. Now the loading on the conjugate beam will be the M by EI diagram of the real beam. Now you should be very careful. Why I am telling repeatedly is, here there are I and 2I, so you have to divide it by appropriate number. Now up to point C, the bending moment, let me just draw the bending moment diagram without those changed moment of inertia. Okay, now this is the bending moment diagram for this beam without considering the effect of the moment of inertia. So this is 200 kN meter, because it is 50 into 4, it will be 200 kN meter. Now when I start with joint A, the bending moment is 0. Now just left of C, the bending moment is still 200, but since I'm drawing M by EI diagram, so it will be 200 divided by E and I only, because for the segment AC the moment of inertia is I, so it is 200 divided by E and single I, so it will be something like this. So let me just write that. So this is 200 divided by EI. Now just right of C, the bending moment is still 200 kN meter, but the moment of inertia has changed to 2I, so I should divide it by 2. So 200 divided by 2, so you will get it as 100. So let me just draw that. So bending moment at B will also be 0, and you have to join from here to here, and this will be straight line. So this will be 100 divided by EI, that is this ordinate. From here to here it is 100 divided by EI, and from here to here it is 200 divided by EI. Now since this is a positive bending moment, I told you the loading on the conjugate beam will be always away from the beam, that is upwards. Now once you have drawn this the loading on the conjugate beam correctly, the further things are very simple. So hope you understood how to draw this. You have to take care of that I and 2I accurately. Now once it is done, what has been asked is slope at A, B and C and deflection at C. We know that to find the slope on the real beam, you need to find the shear force on the conjugate beam. So first let us find what is the slope at A. First step. Now to find slope at A, you need to find slope at A on the real beam. You need to find what is the reaction on the conjugate beam. So let me mark those reactions, at A the reaction will be downwards, and at B also the reaction will be downwards, because the loading on the conjugate beam is upwards. Now let me call this as, say, VA, and let me call this as, say, VB. So the slope at A, on real beam is equal to shear force at A on conjugate beam, which is equal to VA. So let us try to find what is the value of VA. To do that, what I will do, I will take on the conjugate beam moment at B equal to 0, and my sign convention will be all clockwise moments as positive. So now VA at B will actually cause anti-clockwise movement, so I should write it as minus VA into 8. So this is done. Now let me consider this triangular part of the load. So that triangular part of the load at B is actually causing a positive bending moment, so I should write it as plus half of base is 4 and height is 200 divided by EI. Since we are taking moment, so you also need to multiply it by the CG distance. So the CG of this load acts somewhere here. So this distance is actually 1/3 of 4, but you would want distance up to point B, so you should write it as 1/3 of 4 plus 4. Now let me take this uniformly varying load. That also will cause a clockwise movement, so I should write it as plus half of, the load is half of base is 4, height is 100 by EI, multiplied by, so CG distance will be somewhere, this distance will be actually 2/3 of 4. So write here as two-thirds of 4. No any other load is there, so equate it to 0. So the only unknown here is VA, which you can solve, and you will get the value of VA as, so you'll get the value of VA as 333.33 by EI. So this is the value of VA. Let me just write that here. So it is coming 333.3 by EI. That is the shear force at A on the conjugate beam, which is nothing but slope on the real beam. Similarly, we can also find what is the shear force at B, which is nothing but equal to the slope at B on the real beam. So to do that, I can take summation of Fy equal to 0 with sign convention as all the upward forces as positive. So once I do that, VA is downwards, so I should write it as minus 333.3, which you know already, divided by EI, plus, sorry, that will also be minus minus VB, and all the load will be positive because it is upwards, plus, so the left hand side load is half of base is 4 and height is 200 divided by EI, plus on the right hand side half of base is 4 and height is 100 divided by EI. So no any other load is there, so equate it to 0. The only unknown is VB, which you can get. So you're getting value of VB as 266.67 by EI. Which is nothing but the slope at P on the real beam. So now we know what are the slopes at A and B. We can find the slope at C also. The slope at C is nothing but slope at C on the real beam is nothing but shear force at C on the conjugate beam. So let me just write that here. This is slope at P, and this is slope at A. We can also find the slope at C, so let me just find that here. So to find the slope at C on the real beam, we need to find the shear force at C on the conjugate beam. So what I will do here is I will consider only the portion from A to C. So once I do that, VA is downwards. I will write summation of Fy equal to 0, upward forces as positive. VA is downwards, so I should write minus 333.3 by EI, and the load is actually upwards, plus half of base is 4 and height is 200 divided by EI. So this will actually give you the slope at C, which is coming out to be VC, that is the slope at C, equal to 66.67 by EI, which is nothing but equal to the slope at C. So this is the slope at point C. So we have found the slopes at A, B and C. The final thing what we need is the deflection at C on the real beam, and we know that to find the deflection on the real beam you need to find the moment on the conjugate beam. So once again we will see that diagram for conjugate beam, and we can find out what is this moment. Either you can come from the left hand side or you can come from the right hand side. What we'll do, we'll consider the left hand portion AC, and let me draw that once again here. Okay, I have drawn that left hand portion of AC, and now I need to find what is the moment at point C. So the moment at C, MC, is equal to BA at C is actually causing a hogging bending moment, so I should write it as minus 333.3 by EI multiplied by the perpendicular distance is 4, and this UVL is actually causing a sagging bending moment, so I should write it as plus. Now the load is half of base is 4, height is 200 divided by EI. This is the total load multiplied by the CG distance, that is from here up to here, it is obviously 1/3 of 4. So you can, no any other force is there, you can get the value of MC as, so you are getting value of MC as minus 800 divided by EI. This is nothing but the deflection at C, and the negative sign indicates that it is downwards. So let me write that. So this is the deflection at point C. So friends, this is how we can use the conjugate beam method when it is a non-prismatic member and find out the slope and deflection at any point on the beam. So we'll solve some more examples in my next videos. Till then, thank you. Bye.